Hello, sir.
Hi, Bjorn. How you doing? You okay?
Good, good. How are you?
Not so bad, thank you. Finished one day at work and starting an evening at work, so
Yeah, okay, cool.
I have to keep busy. Um,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to speak to you. I think we spoke at Bloodstock a couple of years back. I think it was when you were playing at the on the Sophie stage.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It's a couple of years back, and then you returned last year, triumphant and absolutely
Yes.
off the
Yeah.
party of the Ronnie James Dio as well. Always a pleasure to see you live. And I have to admit, I've said this in my review of the album that went out. The first time I ever encountered you was at Bloodstock show about 3 years ago. I'd never even heard of you before that point. Um,
Wow.
so many bands that you do miss when you're covering so many, and then you get pleasantly surprised by a band like Night Flight Orchestra, and you're like, "This is fun."
That's awesome. That's really cool that you discovered us there. Really cool. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people, it's like, what the hell is this? But I kind of like it, you know. So, yeah, cool.
That's precisely. It's one of the reasons we tell people go to festivals, always catch the support band when you go and see your favorite headliner because you never know who your next favorite band is going to be.
Exactly. Exactly. Well put.
So let's start. As I said, discovered you a couple of years ago, and I was surprised when I went to do the review, did a little bit of research. This new album you've got coming out in a couple of weeks' time, "Give Us the Moon," is actually album number 7 from Night Flight Orchestra.
Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that. But for people discovering with this album, there's a lot of albums to discover. So that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, so you're not sure material to go back and listen to. So obviously people will know you better from such acts as Soilwork, for instance, which has been going for an
Mm.
awful lot longer. I'm going to ask a question. I know you've probably been asked this before, and I do apologise, but how do you manage to balance the time between the two acts? Soilwork aren't a small band by any stretch. How do you manage to
Mm.
schedule in your touring, recording, writing? Because these are two very, very different acts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough task, and I think we pretty much had it down before COVID. You know, we divided the touring cycles and album cycles, and then COVID hit, and then when things open up, we had to throw both bands out there because we missed too much, you know. So, but we're trying to get in sync now again, and also try to find some rest in between. You know, it's pretty tough. Both me and guitarist in Night Flight, Rasmus Ehrenborn, he's also playing bass in Soilwork. So
Yeah.
it's not an easy task. I mean, as far as switching between like musically is very easy. For me, and I'm sure that Rasmus can relate as well. But yeah, I think the toughest part is really trying to get some rest in between, you know. And but we're trying to also be a bit more selective with soul work. We're not touring as much as we used to do, and or at least not do like a full European tour, then home for 1 week and then go to America for 5 weeks. We don't really do that anymore, but so we try to spread it out a little bit, you know. But it's not an easy task, that's for sure.
I bet. I mean, when did Soilwork start? That's obviously been going an awful lot longer than Night Flight Orchestra. Because I remember hearing Stabbing the Drama many years back, and that wasn't even your very first material. So that must be 20 years, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we formed the band either in we can't remember late '95 or early '96. So that's yeah,
Wow,
that's a
so
long time. Yeah,
pushing
so it's
30
close to
years.
30 now. Yeah, yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
I just remember Stabbing the Drama was probably the first melodic death, very melodic death album I ever heard. It absolutely blew me away. Um,
Cool.
and it still sticks in my head. But anyway, we're not talking about solo. We're talking about Night Flight Orchestra.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
Obviously, a lot of people, a lot of band members will have a side project. They'll have something else they would like to do. I'm assuming Night Flight Orchestra kind of began as a side project. This is something I'd like to do, and I'm not working with Soilwork. Is that how it came about?
Pretty much. I mean, when me and David met in 2007 on tour, he was being a session guitar player with Soulwork in North America. We bonded very quickly over music, and when that tour was done, you know, we said we need to start a band that sort of captures, you know, the '70s and the '80s, and it's going to be a soundtrack of being in motion, you know, like a soundtrack of being on tour. And you know, as a singer, I was also very curious to try out something completely different, you know, and so we came home, and it took some time, you know, to get everyone together and find the right people. But I guess it was a project or something that we really needed to get out, you know, at the time, and we quickly found that this is something really special. There's something almost magical here. I remember getting together for the first time to rehearse in this garage in the countryside, and there was just something special about it. And it didn't take long for us to feel that this is the real band, and we want to share this with the world. That kind of feeling, and that we felt like we were on a mission. So it became a band quite quickly, I would say.
And quite a unique band as well in terms of the sound. There's quite a few bands out there who do a little bit of the 70s, but the 80s. You've got a few bands who
Yeah.
rock. I don't generally think. I'm sure somebody out there will correct me. There'll be comments somewhere going, "But haven't you heard about such and such?" But you're one of those bands where you hear Night Flight Orchestra. There's nobody else that quite sounds like you.
Oh, well, cool. That's a big compliment, and I think, we have so many diverse influences. There's obviously the American radio rock. There's the UK radio rock as well, like 70s, 80s. There's the prog, mostly the sort of, there's some sticks in there on the American side, but also the UK side more, I would say. And then there's also a bit of new wave, even, I would say, and like Roxy Music, stuff like that. That can also that has also influenced us along the way. And then there's ABBA, there's the disco elements too. So it's really all over the place. And when you just lay out all these influences trying to describe the band, it feels like they could fail miserably, but somehow it works, and it keeps working. And I think, it's because this band is it's sort of like an anything goes band. You get high on the fact that you can do whatever you want. It's like an open field, and yeah, so a lot of good things come out of that. Not everything turns out good, but I would say most. And it has become such a creative unit, with so many ideas, and we can move between genres like bands used to do in the 70s and 80s. You could have like a reggae song, and then the next song is like a prog song that lasts for 8.5 minutes, and nobody really, you know, cared. It's like it all made sense. So that's a tradition that we want to carry on.
I showed my daughter one or two your videos as well. And one of the questions she asked me was, I know I've mentioned about the reason for setting up a side project is often because people want to explore other musical outlets. You don't want to like get channel into
Yeah,
one type of
yeah.
music. She asked, was it really just an excuse to wear glitter on stage?
So only an excuse to.
Wear a big glittery jacket on stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one of the reasons, I guess. Yeah, and especially the cape. The
Yeah.
cape. I mean, just I always wanted to wear a cape. There's something special about capes. I think Bowie used to wear a cape, and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's something about it, and yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons. Yeah, yeah.
I do generally think that's part of the appeal of
Busted.
Night Flight Orchestras. When you see you guys live, it's
Mhm.
as soon as you walk on the stage, you know you are going to see something different.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, that's the whole point. We like to stick out quite a bit, and yeah, I mean, very often we do play a lot of metal festivals, and we definitely stick out. We're the sort of joker in there, and it's always interesting to see people's reactions and how at the end of the night, no matter what kind of background you have, you're gonna be dancing.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic to see.
Gotcha. So take us
Mm.
to the new album then. So Give Us the Moon comes out on January the 31st. It's quite a long album. I
Yeah.
listened through to it. There's plenty on there. As you said, there's long tracks, there's short tracks, there's a nice bit of a mixture. How long did this one take to put together? Because your last album was 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 3.5, and I think, yeah, about three, like 2.5, 3 years to put it together. I mean, it's been quite a journey with the passing of David, our guitarist, and we needed time to grieve and sort of regroup and find the joy in music again, and turn it into something really creative and positive, which we did, in the end, and out came this album. I think it's representing the band in a really good way and what we've gone through. I think it's an album with like an explosion of emotions running through it. It's very multi-layered, and yeah, we needed to take our time, and I think you can hear it as well. And it's really the first time that we've taken that much time. We normally release an album every year. I was going to say, but close, you know. So, but yeah, it's special, and I feel that overall it's a bit more focused than before. You know, it's a very long one. It's 13 songs, but it's all making sense, and you know, it's very diverse, but it all comes together quite nicely, I would say, as an album.
Is there much of David in the album? Is there anything maybe he laid down before his passing at all, or is it very much taken on from what he helped build over the previous six?
Yeah, there's actually one song on there, like "The Beating of a Heart." He wrote that song for a different project that me and him were gonna start, but it never really happened. And when he passed away, I remember that song, and I was thinking, you know, that's deserves a better, you know, fate, and we should maybe try it out with the Night Flight Orchestra. So I talked to his family and his kids, and they liked the song, and you know, we decided to pick it up, and it turned out to be something really special, and we felt that it really fit the rest of the material on the album as well. So it's a great song, but it is the only contribution from David on the album.
Oh, it's nice to have something that's there to help remember him by more than anything else, as if six albums.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, yes, and I mean he's been very present during the composition of the composing of this album. You know, I felt that it's been, you know, it's been very present while I was writing these songs. You know, it's been kind of a strange feeling, but in, you know, in a very positive way. You know, so it's and also in the studio. You know, we recorded everything in the same studio where we always used to record with him, and all of us could pretty much see him walking around in the corridors and wearing, you know, nothing but underwear and drinking beer. You know, so that's what he that's what he used to do, and all recorded all his solos only wearing underwear, and yeah, I mean, we were laughing and having such a good time and remembering the good times, and so in the end, it was you know, it felt like he was very present in everything we were doing.
Fantastic. Another
Mm.
thing, in terms of the current members or the long-term members as well, I love the way that you actually bill Night Flight Orchestra as an eight-piece band.
Mm.
Quite often, like the backing singers and so forth would just be, kind of also rounds are kind of like, yeah, they're on there as well. But
Mm.
you've got Anna and Osa, have I pronounced that correctly?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
Anna and Osa, who are very much part of the sound. I mean, I've listened to the album through, and without them, it would be missing something which makes it special.
Yeah.
How much, other than the voices and the talent, do they bring anything into the writing at all? Are they part of the creative team as well, or
So far they haven't written anything, but it's all, you know, open for everyone to write in this band, really, you know. So there's no contract saying that you're not allowed to write anything, nothing like that. So who knows? Maybe in the future, but I mean, their voices together are fantastic, and they bring so much life to our live show as well, and being together as a unit in the studio. I mean, we have so much fun together, you know, and it's not a matter of just coming to the studio, do your thing, and get the hell out of there. We hang out, we cook, we, you know, drink and record, and we're super creative, but also super have so much fun. And I think you can hear that, you know. And their voices are fantastic, and obviously their personas, they're fantastic social glue within this band as well. Yeah, it's brilliant.
that's over here? I'm going to move on from the album now, because I'm sure you'll be doing so many interviews about it. I want to try and ask you a few more questions, a little bit more different. Again, I'm going back to my daughter. Whenever I ask
Yep.
her about doing these interviews, one of the questions she always comes up with. Now, I know the first answer to this question. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have a bunch. There's actually quite a lot of them. Yeah, yeah.
So I've got
Yes.
two. I've got three follow-ups. What was your first? What was your most recent? And which one's your favorite?
My first one was pretty tacky tribal tattoo, just like everybody else did
Yeah,
in the late 90s. I remember Scott Ian from Anthrax. I really liked, he was one of the first that I saw had this sort of tribal thing, and it looked cool. And yeah, so I decided to get that one. And so that was my first. Quite quickly after that, I got the Soilwork symbol here on my Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, on my chest. The most recent one would be, oh, it's been a while. Might be this shark here. I think so. I think it's a shark. That this is like an ongoing process here. I mean, this arm just got done very quickly, very smooth. But this one, I've done laser. I don't know how many times, so it's still in progress. But the shark might be the last one. My favorite is probably, well, there's one of my dad here.
It's awesome.
He's smoking and sitting in his cabin on a ship. He was what do you say, like a sea merchant or whatever, a sailor. So it's taken from a picture when he's just left New Orleans. He has a Budweiser t-shirt on, and he has a Jimi Hendrix poster in the background and an aquarium and smoking. So that's yeah. He's still alive, but he's no longer a sailor. But yeah, I that's one of my favorites.
I'm going to ask you another question. I asked quite a few bands from your part of the world as well. There are many memes we have kicking around about arguments about whether people should have pineapple on pizza or not. Sweden takes it one step further. Banana on pizza. Are you pro banana
Yes,
pizza or are you anti banana pizza? This is only a Swedish argument. Nobody else will get this.
I know, I know. Yeah, bananas. I mean, I think what is it called? It has different names. It's a very tacky pizza, but they put curry on it too. Curry, banana, peanuts,
What?
pineapple, chicken,
That's not even a dessert. You put,
and then béarnaise on top of it.
wow, I don't think anyone's actually told me.
I'm fine with it actually. I can do it. I can, I don't order it very often, but it happens every now and then that I do. And sometimes they put some kind of like a tenderloin on it as well. Sliced tenderloin, banana, pineapple, peanuts, curry, sauce béarnaise. There you go.
I suppose to be fair, it's one of those things. Don't knock it until you've at least tried it,
Yep.
and then knock it.
But it's pretty good. It is, believe it or not. It is.
I'm gonna have to take your word for that. At some point, I'll
Yeah.
get back over to Sweden because I don't think anywhere else in the world will have the guts to sell
Probably
that.
not. No, no. And my wife is Italian, so you can only imagine what she's thinking about.
Oh,
No, I usually order that pizza when she's somewhere else out traveling. So yeah, yeah.
Bjorn, I do appreciate you have a ton of other interviews to get through as well. I've got to edit this one and get it online too. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a huge
Thank
pleasure.
you,
I
thank
know
you.
you guys are touring soon. You're playing one whole date in the UK. Please, please, please come back and do a proper tour at some point.
I know.
You've got a lot to do, and we talked about that earlier, but we'd love to see you cover the whole country.
Yes, it's in the plans. It's in the plans.
Fantastic. Glasgow. I'm just
Yes, yes. That would be amazing. Would love
Thank you
that.
so much again for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute blast.
Likewise.
Hopefully you'll find out how well you did against the other two at the beginning of next week as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna beat me, probably. Most
I
likely.
think they're going to beat you as well. But anyway,
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay.
smashing.
But
Thanks very much.
good talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you. I mean, are you coming to the London show? No.
I can't, unfortunately. It's a bit
Yeah,
of a journey for
yeah.
me with a full-time job as well. But
Yeah, I understand.
if you pop up at a festival sometime, or as and when you tour around the UK, I'm sure I'll be doing my best. Let's say I hope to see you guys live again because you're so much fun.
Yeah, I love playing with the band, and I'm really happy that you enjoy it as well. So hopefully we'll get to see each other soon.
Absolutely, in person, and beers on me.
Yes. Okay. Great. Thanks.
You have a good night. Thank you again.
Okay, you too. Take care, man.
Cheers. Thanks, Bjorn.
Bye bye. Thanks. Bye.
This episode is copyright The Moshful Times, introductory music by Elliot Alderman Broom, and any music used throughout the episode is copyright to the original performers and creators.